Yo, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Claru.
And this is a trailer reaction. We were not on the same page. To Superman Legacy? No.
Superman.
No, in order to make it more confusing, this movie will just be called the same thing the original Superman movie which was Superman. I love you, James Gunn. But Legacy would have been nice for, like, Google.
Yeah, this is gonna end up being referred to as Superman 2025 or whatever, like year it comes out.
I liked Legacy. I get that they changed, like, maybe it's not about Legacy anymore. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna dive right into this trailer, and then we'll probably talk for an unnecessary amount of time afterwards about 2 minutes of footage. Ready?
Love it.
Let's do it. He crashed.
No.
What?
There's color.
Yeah. The Batman, this is not.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, that hair.
That's what I imagined Harry Potter's hair to look like. Just like...
Damn, he doesn't look very good.
Someone brought kryptonite to this fight.
Probably. I already like the difference between his Clark Kent and his Superman. I'm loving this rock version of
Are we getting...
Crypto! You don't want the super dog? Yeah!
Home. Take me home.
Country road. That looked great.
That was a great shot.
Ooh. Luther with like the old style revolvers, cool as fuck too.
Is that gonna be your next cosplay?
I really should.
That's a haircut. Oh my god, wow, there's a lot of people in this movie.
Yeah. A little Green Lantern, a little hot girl. Let's go, Mr. Terrific. Man.
Okay, alright. We're bringing out the big boys.
That looked cool as shit.
We're not like picking like one person, maybe two people. Nah, there's like six different people in here.
Damn. That looked cool as shit.
Yeah,
I
great.
really liked that trailer.
Can I have the mouse for like a second?
I appreciate the hell out of the music being all that there is and like almost no dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
What?
Okay. That shot just like looked weird to me for a minute of the like of them floating up, because for some reason I thought that like her arms were underneath of his, and I just like thought he was like holding her by her like cranium, and I was like, oh, that looks uncomfy, but no, it's fine. I saw it wrong.
I think this is such a smart choice for a number of reasons, right? Like I think the look up thing is a really clever take on the like concept of "You'll Believe a Man Can Fly" from the original. I do think that the Justice League kind of whatever they're calling them, the Luthor core team of, you know, Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl and Mr. Terrific, I thought they were going to be a little bit more kitschy. And I enjoyed the rather serious tone of each of the shots those characters were introduced in.
And I think that it is nice that because it's serious, it doesn't mean it's super desaturated.
No, it looks great.
Vibrant and it's full of life, but it is also serious, and it can be all of those things at the same time. It doesn't have to be almost grayscale.
Well, and I honestly, when I watched the 30-second like teaser for this trailer that they put out yesterday, and I thought it looked a little bit blown out. And so I was like, oh, what's going on? I think that this trailer looks great.
Yeah.
The shot of him saving the girl from those water canisters as they blew up was really cool.
Yeah.
The motion of it, the color, the framing. I think there's a lot of really clever framing in here. I love the look of the Daily Planet.
Yeah.
The like open floor design for the office.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same, you know, Zack Snyder's Daily Planet was so claustrophobic.
That's fair.
I think was correct for his vision of the Daily Planet as being sort of this failed institution.
Yeah.
That was kind of like past its necessity, which is how a lot of people view print journalism, right? But I think that James Gunn wants to bring journalism into this movie as not being sort of this cynical device, but rather as something aspirational.
Yeah.
And I don't hate Zack Snyder's Superman the way that some people get very frustrated by him. And obviously some people love him. I'm not saying that everyone hates it. I think that I ride different fences with the Zack Snyder version.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that was always missing from his version was the idea that we could be better.
Mm-hmm.
And Zack Snyder's version of it is that Superman is better, but the rest of us aren't. And I just personally prefer the version of Superman that brings out the best of the things around him.
Yeah.
And this trailer evokes that. The music and the kid raising that flag where he's drawn Superman's symbol on it. It gets into, rather than like the Zack Snyder, like when you get to that scene in Man of Steel where the community in the Dia de los Muertos paint is like surrounding him and like treating him like this idolized figure.
Uh-huh.
It isn't about them in any way other than their admiration of Superman. And what's missing so much for me in Zack Snyder's vision of the character is that he's not a Jesus that is here to save us, but rather he is more powerful than us, but one of us. Yeah. And I think that it's what the Superman and Lois TV show does so well, which is really humble Clark and make him a human. Yeah. As a part of humanity.
Yeah. I honestly think that it is a more interesting story to be less nihilistic. Don't get me wrong.
I think nihilism's easy.
Yeah. And I also want to like emphasize that it has its place and its uses. And there are definitely movies I enjoy that are not happy, right? That you could consider to be nihilistic. But I think for Superman specifically, and I think for superheroes lately, because I feel like a lot of superhero stuff has been a little dour. Or you've got James Gunn's like Peacemaker, where obviously I guess I wouldn't call it superhero, but there's been that kind of like
satire.
Yes. It's also not satire. It is like, it seems like it's very hopeful, and I believe that like by just trying to be a better person, by choosing to be a good person every day, that you will bring out the best in the people around you as well. It's not an immediate thing, obviously, right? But I do want to believe that we can all be better and just do a little bit better than the day before. And that, to me, is a more interesting Superman story than he's big, powerful guy, and he's just going to kind of save us and suffer through it, you know?
Well, and I think that, I think what Marvel doesn't have going for it at the moment is that there was a period of Marvel where it really worked, like Winter Soldier and Civil War, where it was really interesting to kind of tie the Avengers into the government. And I think that what Phase 4 is kind of struggling with is the movies kind of fall into three different camps for me. There's the Shang-Chi, Eternals camp, Deadpool, Wolverine, where the story's about the characters and their superheroics and their community, and those work for me. Yeah. And then you kind of get the military adjacent Marvel Cinematic Universe, which, because it can't criticize the American government too harshly, is just sort of bland. Right, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier to me
Didn't really stick
doesn't
its landing.
do anything.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really have much of an interesting point to make other than Anthony Mackie is amazing as Captain America
Absolutely.
and his relationship with Bucky rocks. But like the criticism of the world post-pandemic that show was trying to make, it just doesn't really work because the radicals are it can't criticize the American government the way that it wants to.
Yeah.
And I'm it's the same reason I'm a little bit worried about Brave New World. And like, will it have something interesting to say? And then there's the third camp, which is like the wacky weird Marvel stuff that either is an amazing hit like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or Ant-Man and the Wasp Ant-Man and the Wasp. Was Quantumania the last one where they go to where they fight Kang?
It was Ant-Man and the Wasp and then Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Like Quantumania and Guardians of the Galaxy are in that third, like we're going to do weird out there shit.
For sure.
But they're at the opposite spectrums of like quality in that.
Yeah.
And so I think that But like all those things I just brought up, none of them are aspirational. Yeah. I don't think that Marvel has chosen to be aspirational. They've kind of chosen to be sardonic and catty lately. And I've enjoyed it, right?
Sure, yeah.
But like, honestly, weirdly, of the recent Marvel offerings, Deadpool and Wolverine is kind of the most aspirational.
I would say,
that they build, that it's truly relationship building.
I would say maybe Miss Marvel, the TV show.
Miss Marvel, there wasn't really something...
Half of it. Half of it was like the relationships in the family and like what it meant for her to be a superhero and like the people around her.
My problem with Miss Marvel is that because the plot takes her away from her community, it isn't actually about her improving her community.
Yeah.
It's just kind of about this very positive person doing stuff places.
Yeah.
And it is kind of my problem with Miss Marvel, which I think most a great show. But to bring it back to Superman, because I don't want to just talk about Marvel, I think that what James Gunn can do here that Marvel isn't really tapping into right now is what is our path forward from here. I think that everyone knows that we're in this very weird, dark time for humans where our society is so negative all the time. And our media is negative, and the news is leaning into it, and we're all in this place where like
clicks and it makes money.
We're cracking jokes about how hot the guy who murdered a CEO is. You know what I mean? Like that's where we're at, and I think that there is room to be the movie that, like in 1979, I think when Superman came out. God, maybe it was earlier than that, but like that poster says you'll believe a man can fly, and people did. Right? Like that movie changed the way you look at the sky. And I think that this movie, by being so opposite to the Batman and, this isn't about quality, just opposite in terms of color palette and visuals and the hope of
and tone.
What you can inspire in other people. I think that this movie could set itself apart right now. Because 20 years ago, we were making aspirational movies, and we've just kind of stopped. Like, every time I go to the movie, it feels like the movie's...
About the worst of humanity?
Well, or just about, like, the movie has to make a joke about the positivity, because we can't just let things be positive. Like, some character in the movie has to comment on it every time something positive happens.
Yeah. To
be like, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or why are you so happy all the time? Like,
or just like, what, Spider-Man? Really?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, dude, like, Spider-Man is in a world where Iron Man and Captain America exist. The fact that in like the 27th Marvel movie, we're still making that joke because we can't just lean into the fact that everyone accepts that the Avengers fought Thanos on 3 different planets in the same movie. And they're still like, really? You're going to go with Captain Marvel? It's like, who gives a shit at this point?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
A god has like come up out of the ocean, and you think She-Hulk is too weird? Like and it's not just Marvel. I feel like I'm taking shots at Marvel, but it's not just them, right? Like everything feels like it needs to comment on any sort of optimism.
Yeah.
And downplay it. And I think that we're due for some cinema and some media. And honestly, I think a lot of this comes from the fact that the people making the entertainment industry are not doing great, right?
They're watching it fall apart in front of their eyes.
Yeah, like LA's... go to the movies, y'all. But I'm excited for this because this trailer makes me think that we're not going to get that. That Superman truly will be someone to look up to in this. And I think we need that right now.
Yeah, I want a movie where I leave feeling good.
Yeah.
You know? feel like that's a hard thing to come by lately.
Yeah, I agree. Because
Yeah.
even Wicked, which I thought was amazing,
It's still
it's not super
tough.
pop. It's still about fascism. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Like-
No, it's got like it. It's got shit to say,
Yeah.
which I appreciate, and I think that has its place. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that makes it bad. This is just something that I feel like I didn't know that I was waiting for.
Yeah,
Like it feels like a breath of fresh air in a way. And I know it's just a trailer,
I agree
but
with
I think
that, though.
I think they did a great job.
No, I loved it. I want this version of the song. I've never heard this like guitar version. I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really cool.
Yeah, it
And I love
rocks.
the horns. I love me. I am a trumpet player at heart. I love me some horns, but that was really
He's
cool.
a horny boy. I thought you were gonna make the joke, and when you didn't, I was like, well, somebody's gotta like.
If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry. We must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is Rachel Brosnahan.
It's like there was one woman.
No, there were two.
Really?
Yeah, there's Hot Girl.
Hot Girl, yeah.
But Rachel Brosnahan
Which just sounds like
from
Hot
the
Girl,
mean
if
streets of Brooklyn
Mm.
all the way
There you go.
to Superman. I'm proud of you, Miss Maisel. If you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
Do something nerdy tonight.
Bye.
Look up!